Hello everyone. Wanted to share a new widget that we've implemented based on some good feedback that we received from the instructional staff. And this is specific to the students' inability to go back and see their prior formative work. So what we did was we took out this widget here. It used to be my personal success plan, which really wasn't being used. So I went and changed that to my work completion. And then we also added a timer. So this is a countdown until the end of the learning period, so the student knows kind of exactly how much time is left. So 7 days, 20 hours, 17 minutes, 37 seconds, boom. But if they click on view work, what that'll do is that'll by default check the current learning period, again showing them the countdown until the end of the learning period. Now they can toggle and go into the whole school year, but by default it goes into that current learning period. So obviously if there was nothing in here and it was checked on current learning period for either summatives or formatives, you would know that that student had not turned in any work during that learning period. So in any event, by default, I put the active tab on my formative work and give them various information, the formative title, description, the course. Now they can click right from there into the course and go into that specific course, and it'll open in a new tab. Same thing with the lesson. If they want to go back into that lesson path, they can click on that and that'll take them back into that lesson path, and then they can navigate back by clicking on my work, and that will tell them the status of their formative. So there's going to be three statuses. There's going to be not assessed, there'll be a resubmit, and a satisfactory. So those would be the three statuses. Obviously, if it's not assessed, you can't view the teacher comments or anything like that, but you still can choose the link or their work product. So I've added kind of a quick clickable icon to the work product. The view is essentially that screen that gives the formative assessment feedback. Great job, formative is excellent, and then they can toggle back into my work, and that's basically how that works. Also for the summatives, it's much the same way, with the differentiation that if they're clicking on the summative module, that goes into the summative assessment guidelines. So it doesn't allow them really to submit a summative from here unless the status is a resubmit, in which case if they clicked into the eye icon, that's going to open up a new tab and basically put them into the resubmit formative process that's directly in the resubmission center, and then they could resubmit from there if they wanted to. But yeah, in the summatives, there's their status, and maybe I ought to change that to status. Oh, geez, I just realized that. Okay, well, by the time you see it in real time, I'm going to change that to assessment instead of status, because it's not a status. Status is only formative. Anyway, that's what happens when you do things at 3 something in the morning. In any event, so this would be their grade, which is basically going to be either not assessed, the proficiency grade from emerging, capable, bridging, proficient, and advanced, or it could be no evidence if there was a plagiarization incident or something like that. And then basically it's the same thing. Like, they can go directly to their work product from there, and they can also go in and view the assessment comments and the specific standard and competency assessment, as well as the instructor feedback, and they can access their work product here as well and go back by clicking my work. So, and we added the learning period when the learning period ends there too. So I think that's pretty much it for that. If there's any questions, let me know, and I will go back right now and change that status. So when you see it tomorrow, or actually later today, it'll say assessment. Okay, hope everyone's sleeping, enjoying their evening. All right, yep, bye.